Hey everybody, Brannon Beliso here. Success Never Sleeps, episode 10, with me, Brannon Beliso. I'm going to give you a chance to get aboard. Had a lot of questions about getting into schools. And after I posted my earlier live feed that summer is the opportunity to grow your business, it got everybody thinking, what should I be doing now to prepare for the fall, to prepare for 2017? I think as you wrap up June and you're 6 months into the year, it's a really unique opportunity to reflect upon what you've done and what you still need to do for the rest of the year. Because I think data for me is really important. Hey, Elio, what's happening, sir? Oh, people are coming aboard really quick. So data for me is very, very important. And the thing about data, because numbers don't lie, and data gives you the opportunity to see what you're realistically doing in your business, okay? So with 6 months of data for the new year, I can look back and say, okay, we're on a pace to do 1.6 million. Millbrae is fast catching up to San Francisco. I think it's a different animal. I think our business model is something that's, I'm learning, replicates a lot better in a suburban environment versus just a urban environment. I think with the urban environment, you have a lot of smaller boroughs and people won't venture out of that borough. So you might have somebody only, a mile and a half away in another borough, but they're not physically going to come to you. So we've worked really hard to make San Francisco $1 million location, but I'm seeing that Millbrae is ramping up much, much quicker. So that would lead me to believe data-wise that I should be taking my business model and open it in a bit of a suburban, but still close to a big city environment. You feel me? So the number one question I got is, how do you get into the schools? How do you get in with the PTA? To be honest with you, I think the number one way is to make sure that you have somebody on the inside. I know that sounds weird. In this case, my wife is on the PTA of my son's school. And just through having children in this community, taking them to soccer, taking them to swimming, taking them to different camps, my wife playing the, families getting together for play dates, things like that, I can't tell you how valuable that is. So I think number one is making sure that you know somebody within the PTA system. Because we know every year that's going to change. Administrators are going to change at schools. PTA presidents are going to change, things like that. But with that said, I believe they see everybody coming through the door. Okay? So what that basically means is everybody wants to get connected to the school system. Everybody, from the yearbook guy to the one selling rings to somebody that wants to do a fundraiser. Everybody wants to get into the school system, and it's not the easiest thing to do. So what do? Some of the key things we've done boldly is to go to every one of these elementary schools and say, hey, for your silent auction, we're going to donate to you a fully themed birthday party valued at $450. And we do amazing birthday parties. They're actually booked out through November on some dates already, because we've really created this unique birthday party that's not just martial arts based. It's based upon the best of every kid's party we've seen. We take our kids to what goes on in a 5-mile radius of our location. So we're very passionate about that. So that's become a very popular auction item. We'll do things like if they have a crab feed or a Monte Carlo night, anything like that to support the auction, right? The parents go to the crab feed, they pay $60-$70, they eat crab, they participate in the silent auction, etc., etc. Well, guess what? They need a place for the kids to be. Somebody needs to watch those kids. So we step up and say, hey, one martial arts will volunteer to watch those kids so more parents can go to the crab feed and the silent auction, and we'll watch them for free. And we'll feed them pizza. So it's just like a parent's night out for us, 4, maybe 5 hours at the most. So we create that, and that again shows your business that cares and endears you to that PTA, and we do it for all of them. All of them, all of them. Every elementary school in a 2-mile radius of us, and there's quite a few. There's actually like 5 of them. We donate to every one of them. Not only to the silent auction, we donate our services to watch the kids. Can you see that? I can see it. We're a big part of MEF, which is the Millbrae Educational Funding. And what they do is they raise money all year long to donate music instruments, to donate art supplies to all the different elementary schools in our district. So they're district-wide. So we, again, went to them and we became a sponsor. and for being a sponsor and putting money into it, into the MEF organization. They took our day camp information, they shot it out through their email, they put it at their Twitter and their Facebook. And I find that's very beneficial. Our Millbrae camp, only in its second year. Last year at this time, in our first week of camp, we had 20 kids. This year we have 40. Does this have anything to do with? I think so. So you really want to be a business that cares, a business that contributes, a business that gives back. I got a buddy, Kevin Waldschmidt. He donates like close to $40,000 a year to the PTAs. And that's what you want to do. You're going to spend a marketing dollar anyways. You're going to spend an advertising dollar anyways. Spend it in the right places. Create the relationship with these different people on the PTA. And fortunately, a lot of these kids whose parents are on the PTA, guess what? Their kids take martial arts at our school. So we've been very passionate about that, but we didn't put the cart before the horse. We were very aggressive in showing that we're a business that cares, we're a business that gives back. Even one night the PTA had a meeting and we donated our services where we watched the kids on the main floor and they played dodgeball and did stuff like that. So the PTA parents could meet in our back activity room. Is that pretty cool? So there's a lot of different things you can do. But by donating your services, by getting involved, by being a part of the community in such a way without asking for anything in return, it's pretty phenomenal. And it will pay dividends. I promise you it will pay dividends. But if you simply in August, on the first day of school for the teachers, as they're preparing for classes, walk in there in your uniform with a box of donuts, forget it. That's so played out, that's so used. Nobody does that anymore. Nobody, because they see right through that. You're like a sheep, you're like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Let me get that right. So please don't do that. I'd recommend, again, organically building your way in. And this, doing the PE teacher for a day, yes, you can do that, all those different things, but I want to go straight to the source. I want to get to the principal. I want to get to the PTA heads right away. And the only way you're going to do that is with cash. You're going to do that through your donations, donating your school, donating your services, all those different things. School talks are school talks. Those we do. Those are a staple, but I think we need to be more creative. We need to be more innovative in our thinking in order to appeal to people. And it really is about creating relationships. If people like you, they'll be your friend, but if they trust you, they'll do business with you. And you want to invest in a relationship of trust. So if you truly show your colors as a business who cares, a business gives back, I believe down the road that can pay dividends. It really, really can. But don't put the cart before the horse. Recently, we sponsored a softball team. And half the moms on that softball team, guess what? They're on the PTA. And we not only sponsored this softball team, we also donated our facilities, and they had a party, when they give out the trophies and everything. So there's a lot of things you can keep doing. Do not discount them. We look at we get blinded by the light, as one would say. You sit there and you do something like, hey, with this big, Groupon or this or that, and don't be blinded by those things. Sometimes it's the most simplest, organic, on the smallest level that can have the biggest impact in everything you do. Cool? So I want to open up the floor to your questions. This is Success Never Sleeps, episode number 10 with me, Brannon Beliso. Taking your questions about how to get into the school system or anything that you need to better your business right now. I love your questions. Come on, folks. It's early in the night. It's only about 10 o'clock. We got lots of people coming on, dropping off, coming on. But as you come aboard, say hello. I love it when people connect and say hey. Do make sure that you type in your question there, because I'm with you, as always, to help you succeed in your life and your business. And we can do that so many different ways. Ultimately, as I share, it's your space, it's your race. But together, I believe I can help you achieve those goals as well. So what do I got coming up? My children's book is just about done. We're just doing the final touches. It's the first in a series. It's called The Adventures of Bray and Tay. Braden and Tay are my son and daughter. I want to immortalize them at an age. So he's 6 and she's 3 through all these books forever. The first one's on focus. We're going to do one on discipline, confidence, control, all these different life skills that are out there. They're drawn really well, and I'm very excited about it. So the first one should be out shortly. I'm working on another book which kind of slowed down a little bit just because the stories weren't flowing. But I'm back on track. That book should be done shortly as well. You'll find me coming out in a book, I believe it's called Black Belt Power, with a bunch of other top martial arts school owners. We wrote a book together. So that should be out in, I think, July or August. Look for that as well. I'll be up in Seattle on July 24th for It's Time Live with me, Brannon Beliso. Please, if you're up in the Seattle area, Washington, Oregon, you got to come over, hang out with us for a day. I promise to offer you content that's not only cutting edge and innovative, but I believe can have a huge impact on your personal life and your business. Cool? So it's Brannon Beliso. I want you to type in those questions. We're here. Success never sleeps. We got a lot of people on the call. Don't feel like you just got to listen, all right? I want you to participate. I want you to ask those questions. Let's better your business now. Here's one. You mentioned you have teenagers. Let's see, I'm going to put on my glasses. Do you have a high turnover when they go to college? If so, are your parents okay with that? That's a good question, Johnny. What we do is from as early age as possible, we like to plant the seeds in our parents that if they stay local and they go to college local, how much money they'll save not having to room and board and all that stuff. And secondly, how much money will they make with us over that 4 or 5 year period they're in college. So we're planting seeds early and often. Are those kids who get a killer scholarship to Stanford or Cornell that simply say, I'm out of here? Yeah, there are. But so far, out of the majority, I'd say we're retaining 15 to 20% of them. And it's slowly growing more and more. I think it's really about planting the seeds to show them that this is not just a hobby business. This is a legitimate business. There's a legitimate profit and they can make a career out of it. But you need to have a path. How do I go from being a volunteer to being a part-time instructor to being a full-time instructor to being an operating partner to being a franchisee to being an actual owner? And if you can show on paper the amount of money that can be generated, then the potential is there. But Johnny, sir, if you're running a school with 100 students and that's all it's ever been for 20 years, there's no room for growth there. There's no room that makes me see that this is an opportunity for me to make this a career. Look at our 2 schools. We'll do 1.65 million. Is that good? That's amazing, right? That's amazing. And we're still at about a 30-40% net. So on top of all that, you can see that I make more than some doctors and lawyers. It's a legitimate business. And once the parents can see that, and the child can see that, that more so the parent when they're a freshman, sophomore in high school, you'd be amazed. But is there going to be turnover? Absolutely, Johnny, sir. There will always be turnover. All right, who do we got now? Do you have your staff members attend the schools? If so, how many? Attend the schools. Or are my staff members actual students at these elementary schools? No. If that's the question, Chris, I'm not sure I'm getting the full gist of that question. Do you have your staff members attend the schools? If so, how many? I don't get the question, Chris. I'm a little bit lost. So give me a little more on that. Do my staff members attend the schools? If so, how many? I don't get it. They don't attend the elementary schools that we service right now. They don't. Because all my staff is in high school and some of them are in college. All right, next question, please. Sorry, when you do your presentations or events? Yeah, absolutely. If we're doing a bully awareness or if we're doing a, school talk on confidence or strangers or life skill, absolutely. But I think what's unique about that, Chris, and I want to talk about this for a minute, is we're not keen to do a big assembly with like 500-600 students in an auditorium. I personally believe they're very ineffective. I do. I liken it to trying to teach a martial arts class to 500-600 kids, and you're up on this big stage. So there's no connection. What we prefer to do, Chris, is we go class to class to class. And we do smaller groups of 20 to 25 kids. I think they have more impact. It may take us longer. Sometimes we had to go back for 2 or 3 days. But I believe the impact is so much higher. So much higher. The teachers are so grateful. They get a little break. They get to see what you do. And they're more inclined to want to pass out your, whatever package you want to give them with your rack cards on camp and after school and your classes. Because you're making that real personal touch. And they see that you want to come into their class. I can't tell you, Chris, it's so much better than a big school auditorium talk any day. So yeah, my team do those as well. Next question, please. Come on. Give me those questions, folks. I want to make sure I answer all your questions before I get out of here tonight because Success Never Sleeps, episode 10, with me, Brannon Beliso, live. Live. You know, I posted that video I might have about camp today. Millbrae is just a baby, and it's in its second summer. It's not even our full second year. And we had 40 campers today at the average of about $300 per camper. I think that's really, really good. Really good, really good. And we've built that organically, again, by doing all these community events, by being into the schools, by donating, by contributing our services. That's been super powerful. The new Facebook ad we have running, which is a commercial, I think that's been very effective in San Francisco. The ROI in Millbrae hasn't really been measured yet. I'll look at the next report to be able to tell you about that. But we're making an impact in both schools right now with our camps. And I'm big on camps because a lot of people go away for the summer. We have like 46 kids on hold in San Francisco right now. Right now. But yet the money we're producing is really good because of the camps. Think of the student value. If a student values $300 for a week of camp, in most environments it's almost equal to 2 students for a month, right? They are. So we really love our camps, but we don't count them as active students. But we do enjoy that revenue. Cool? All right, next question. Type in those questions, please. This is Brannon Beliso with you. Success Never Sleeps, episode number 10. Hanging out. Looking for my services, please go to brannonbeliso.com. You can get me there. If you opt in, you're going to get a PDF presentation on how to earn 235 students in 8 months. It's the basic blueprint that I have that I used when we opened up the new school in Millbrae, which we're currently at 328, I believe. 328 in 16 months. Those numbers to me are really good. And there's a lot of unique, innovative things we did to achieve that. So if you want that, just go to brannonbeliso.com and opt in for that PDF. All right, come on. Give me those questions. I'm here for you. I love to talk, but I want to answer those questions. So type them in. Come on. So I think we've pretty much covered how to get into the school system with the PTA. I think it's about, again, being creative. Don't put the cart before the horse. Don't go in there and sell. Don't go in there with the intention of just generating new leads. Go in there with the genuine, heartfelt passion and commitment and purpose to create brand awareness through service. See, by serving people really well, by not asking for anything in return, you're promoting your brand. Because you want to live, teach, and preach your brand 24/7, 365. And by doing different community events all the time, you're saying that. Our brand is we are here to help people. We are here to give back. We are here to make a difference, right? We do that on the mat, so why not do that off the mat as much as possible? Cool? So type in those questions, folks. Brannon Beliso, Success Never. Here's another one. I love questions. Regarding my turnover question, let's see. When you have a new instructor join, how do you convey to your parents that the quality and rapport will still be there with the new instructor? Okay. Johnny, I think the first thing is by example. I think I posted that video last Saturday. The Millbrae location was being ran by a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 15, and a 15-year-old. I shared that. Right? If you go to McDonald's, Johnny, and this may not be the best example, but it's the one I'm going to use, and you buy a quarter pounder with cheese, do you care if it's made by a 17-year-old kid or a 45-year-old man? No. As long as it's made exactly the same way you like it and it tastes the same, you're pretty cool with that. Don't you agree? So with that said, Johnny, what we've done is we've worked on developing systems and a curriculum that's dynamic, systems to train a team to do it better than me. And they do. They do it better than me in so many ways today. I'm almost embarrassed sometimes when I teach. But they do it better than me. And based upon that, the parents don't care. If their child's progressing, if they're getting the results, it won't matter. You just have to make sure before you let that instructor loose, they're trained really, really well, and you have the confidence they can teach that class better than you, regardless of age, regardless of when they enter. Cool? Thank you, Johnny. Next question, please. Keep those questions coming in. Do you have a minimum time instructors have to be in a program before going to the next level? Yeah, absolutely. We have a 1-year training experience. It's called the Instructors training experience first year, where they go from holding a pad to taking attendance to tying a bell to being able to be the person who demonstrates the right down to holding a pad, next to being able to supervise 2 to 3 kids, next to doing the warm up and the stretch, next to being able to do the mat chat, next to being able to do that plus leading most of the class, right down to at the end talking to a parent. Yeah, we have a whole 1 year experience that gets them there. I'm now writing the second year experience, getting them from being an instructor to an operating partner and moving forward beyond that. Yeah, absolutely. How many instructors do you prefer to class? Honestly, Johnny, we love to work with a low student to teacher ratio. I found that was one of the big objectives. A parent will always ask you, how many kids in a class? And what they're really saying is, my child going to get proper supervision, proper attention. And it doesn't matter how many kids in the class. As long as you can say we work with roughly a 7-to-1 ratio or an 8-to-1 ratio, your parents are going to be very happy. With the average public school, you got one teacher for 25 to 30 kids, they're going to be very happy with that. I think it's a higher level of service and the quality is there. But again, if I got 10 knuckleheads on the floor, that doesn't matter. I want 10 highly trained instructors, right? So if it's 7-to-1, if there's 21 kids, there's 3 instructors. Mostly the time when there's 30, we'll still run with 3, but we're at high level of instructors all the time. All the time. Hope that answers your question, Johnny. Next question, please. Come on, success never sleeps. Success never sleeps with me, Brannon Beliso. It was a long day. I got to admit that I had to get in there and help them with camp this morning. They were a little bit overwhelmed in Millbrae. We've never had 40 kids. You know, they had a pretty cush summer last year with 20 kids each week. They were just like, wow, what's going on here? So it's growing really fast. But I was grateful. I was grateful to be there and to serve. So next question, please. For me, Brannon Beliso, success never sleeps. For all my services, go to brannonbeliso.com, and there's lots of good stuff there. You know, I'm reading a great book right now while we're waiting for the next question. The Art of Communication by Thich Nhat Hanh. Now, he's not some business guy. He's not a Tony Robbins dude. He is a Buddhist priest. And the big thing he talks about that's really resonated with me, he says, before you can learn to communicate with people, you have to know how to communicate with yourself. You don't need a smartphone to tell you you're smart. You don't need a Fitbit to tell you you're exercising and you're fit. You feel me? So he's really challenging people to put down the cell phone, put away the Fitbit, and get in tune with yourselves. So I'm ever mindful if I'm going on a walk or a run or anything like that, I do not bring my cell phone with me. I do not bring my cell phone with me. It's important, and I do that through my breath to get in tune with myself, to listen to my body, to listen to my heart, to listen to my mind, because that's really important in understanding my why and my purpose and fulfilling my own vision. My vision's not based upon reflecting on you. My vision's not based upon looking at someone who's extremely successful. My vision, my purpose, my values, my passion are based internally. It's a journey inward. It's very innate, but I gotta listen to myself. I mean, truly listen to myself to know who I am, not who other people perceive me as. Because who I am without all that perception, without all the accolades, without all the other things that come with it, that's the person I need to nurture. That's the person I need to be 24/7. Because if I can do that, guess what? My why, my purpose, my values, everything is clear. And I will attract the people I need into my life. Feel me? I hope you do. Okay, what do we got here? Are any of your instructors full-time? Absolutely, sir. Full-time to me is 32 hours or more. I've probably got 4 or 5 that are working pretty much full-time right now. Because remember, the first location's at 565, the second location's at 328. So that's closing in on 900 students. We need full-time instructors. Absolutely. Next question, please. Come on. I love your questions. What do you got for me, folks? Come on. I don't want to always be talking and talking. I love your energy. I love the questions that you have. It shows me that you're critical thinkers. You know what I mean? I don't want you to be sheep. I don't want you to simply follow me blindly or anybody else. I want you to think. I want you to be a critical thinker. Open your mind to that unlimited potential, but know that potential lives inside you and only you, not me. You and only you. Cool? So any other questions before we wrap this up tonight? We've been going for a little while here on Success Never Sleeps, episode number 10 with me, Brannon Beliso. Alrighty, folks, if you ain't got anything else for me, I'm going to wrap it up. Go sit and watch The Bachelorette with the wife. Yeah, it's her show, so we kind of hang out together, and I ask her all the dumb questions like, what's happening now? Why does he do that? Because I don't follow it too well. How many full-time and part-time is good for a student base of 390? Hey, that's a good number, Johnny. 390 is a good number. You know, I really, really think for every 100 students, you should have a full-time instructor. That's what I believe. So if you get 390 plus yourself, there should be 3 other full-time instructors. And if they're not teaching full-time, you have them out there marketing if possible, you know, whatever needs to happen. For us, we have after school, we have day camp, we have private lessons, we have birthday parties, we have a lot of things. So we look at it like a restaurant. When somebody works, they may not work just 5 days, 40 hours. They might do 6 or 7, and they're doing 4 or 5 hours a day. I'm okay with that. It's much like a restaurant. People are cool with it. They have their days to themselves. They work 4 or 5 hours a night. They're fresher. The shift is shorter. You just got to condition them that's, just like the restaurant industry, and to be okay with that. So I'd say if you're at 390, Johnny, I would try to get up around at least 3 full-time instructors. 100 for every instructor. And then if you're backup, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Right now, Millbrae, we're at 328. I have 2 full-time instructors, pretty much. And then staff running the front desk, day camp, after school, birthday parties. I mean, Millbrae's running 7 days a week right now already because of the birthday parties, which I shared or booked out through November. Next question. Nothing else? Alrighty, folks, I'm going to wrap this up. This is Brannon Beliso, Success Never Sleeps, episode number 10. Go to brannonbeliso.com. You can hire my services by the hour for phone consultations. I love to do the Restaurant Impossible thing where I come into your school and give you a complete overhaul in a 2-day. I physically hang out. I'm there. I'm with you. You're very welcome, Chris. I also have It's Time Live. That's coming to a city near you. And I also have my 8-month mentoring program. And it's ongoing. You can join that anytime. It's an investment, but you get me one-on-one. And I help you get from zero to heroes, one might say. It's been life-changing for the people who've been involved. Everyone who's adopted my thinking. Ask Chris Malloy. I think he's added, 250 students? I don't know, 200, some crazy number in just 8 months. Another guy, Dean Wilkerson, has added 27, some crazy number in a matter of 6 months. So the data is there. The service-based business model that I've created, that I've become profitable and successful with, is showing light in other environments. So it is replicable. It can be done. Again, it's really about believing that service is the way to go, where you put people before profits, where you work on your curriculum, where you work on your team, where you develop it, but you still market responsibly, and you make sure that you serve the community. Cool? This is Brannon Beliso. Find me at brannonbeliso.com. Until we talk again, folks, go out there and make a difference.